Dear students, today we will discuss the lost stanza of this poem titled The Mosquito, written by T.H. Lawrence. The lost stanza of the poem goes, You stagger, as well as you may, only your accursed hairy frailty, your own imponderable weightlessness, saves you, wafts you away on the very draught my anger makes in its snatching. Away with the pain of derision, you winged blood drop, can I not overtake you? Are you one too many for me? Winged victory, am I not Mosquito enough to out Mosquito? You, queer, what a big stand my suckered blood makes. Beside the infinitesimal fat smear of you, queer, what a dim dark smudge you have disappeared into. Dear students, as in the very first lecture, I told you that this is a pure conversation between the mosquito and the poet, D.H. Lawrence here. The poet describes the mosquito in the very first lines as Monsieur, as Mr. Now, in these lost lines, or we can say in the lost stanza, the poet describes the mosquito as it staggers. Staggers means dagmagana. Okay? As it staggers to fly away after drinking his blood. That means when the mosquito drinks or sucks the blood of the poet, it staggers. It can't move freely. Okay? So it now, or we can say its movement is now hindered, staggered. Okay? The poet in anger tries to swat it. Here in these lines, poet is highly angry, we can say, about the mosquitoes sucking blood. So the poet in anger tries to, here we can say, crush it, tries to kill it, as the mosquito tries to fly away, singing a song of victory. Dear students, in these lines, the poet asks himself if he cannot overtake his adversary and outwit it, if he cannot take the revenge, if he cannot kill the mosquito, okay, here the poet, he is asking to himself, huh? Is he enough to control this mosquito, enough to kill this mosquito, enough to take the revenge from the mosquito? Dear students, finally, the poet succeeds in swatting it. That means in killing it, in crushing it. And then finally, what is left? A smudge of blood. When the poet hits or crushes the mosquito on a wall, a smudge of blood is formed where the poet has swatted it, where the poet has crushed it. Only we can say a patch of blood that lies with the wall when the poet crushes the mosquito. Okay, dear students? So, in these lines, we can say that the poet succeeds. The poet succeeds in killing the mosquito. No doubt, mosquito also succeeds in sucking the blood, but finally, the success, we can say, the success is won by the poet in these lines. Now, dear students, as we have got through these lines of the poem stanza by stanza, we will also discuss here, we can say, the theme. What is the theme behind the poem? So, dear students, if we talk of the theme, here we can say that there is not a clear theme of the poem, but we can say that the poem revolves. It revolves around the conflict. There is visibility, or we can say there is a clearance of the conflict between the mosquito and man, or we can simply say that there is a conflict between nature and the culture. Dear student, the disgust of the poet for the mosquito is almost universal in mankind because the tiny insect causes tremendous nuisance to humans and leaves them in pain and irritation. Dear students, the disgust of the poet, however, is misplaced as the mosquito bites people for survival, not out of malice. Malice here means not to cause harm to anyone. So we are, here we can say that the use of words like shank, phantom, frail corpus, ghoul on wings, dull cloth of air, speck fiend, etc. So these expressions that they reveal the disgust with the mosquito Here, they reveal the disgust of the poet with the mosquito and also show that he considers it non entity. However, dear students, however, the poet also treats the seemingly, we can say that, insignificant mosquito as an equal by addressing it as Monsieur, calling it winged victory, and by challenging it into the game of blood. Dear students, expressions like you turn your head towards your tail and smile, and eyeing me sideways, and cunningly conscious that I am averse, show as if the mosquito knows its own power and potential. Dear students, at the end, the mosquito proves itself worthy of the respect because it draws first blood and succeeds in sucking the poet's blood before getting killed. Here we can say that the theme of this poem is basically a conflict revolves between mosquito and the man. So, in the first instance, we can say that this is seemingly an insignificant insect, insignificant organism, but it has the potential, it has the power, it has the ability to bite, and it finally succeeds in sucking the blood from the poet, but it sucks the blood only for its we can say survival, not for the malice. So it has no intention to harm the we can say that the poet, to harm the poet completely. It sucks blood to become, or we can say to remain, we can say to remain alive, hmm, to achieve the survivability. Okay, here the master's plan is only to be alive by sucking the blood. Okay, as it needs the blood to remain alive. So here we can say that, but at the end, this practice that the master does, we can say with the poet, it discusses the poet. So poet is discussed about the practice, or we can say about this act by the master. So finally at the end we see that the poet succeeds by crushing it, by striking it on the wall. Okay, so dear students, if we talk of the tune of this poem, the tune in the poem is mostly sarcastic and comically offensive, and the poet keeps addressing the master in a belittling manner. The sarcastic tune carries underneath the poet's admiration of the master's perfect game plan to achieve victory. Moreover, dear students, point of view, if we talk the point of view of the poem, it is at the end of the poem that the poet's point of view becomes clear. Even though the master is killed, it is not precisely defeated because it succeeds in sucking the poet's blood, which he so sacredly protects. Dear students, this act demonstrates that in the scheme of nature, a tiny sized organism can achieve victory over a much bigger and more powerful being. I hope you might have got this lost stanza and the theme of this poem. So, go through the poem, understand it, extract the meaning from the words, and create your own expressions about it for beautiful comprehension. Thank you very much, dear students.